Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video, and today we're doing a balanced druid PvP guide, and today we're going to be going over BGS and Warmode, because I don't really do much of arenas, so that's what we're going to be doing today. Anyways, let's go over the 40-mans first. What I usually enjoy for the 40-mans is the build you are currently seeing right now. The most, actually, well, minus a few changes, but for the most part this is kind of like my favorite build. You can either use Warrior Balloon or Nature's Balance, but I prefer Nature's Balance simply due to the fact that you start off with 50 Astral Power, and you can just open up with Starfall or Star Surge, but since there's 40 people, you can just go ham on AoEs and everything. So I found Nature's Balance to be really good because you're always going to be gaining Astral Power, and you can open up with a Starfall and just drop it down and AoE the crap out of people. Second row is pretty much a personal choice. I prefer Renewal because if I get jumped on and get low on health, I can pop my Renewal and get my health back. So it's just your standard stuff. It's either you want your survivability or mobility. It's just a personal choice. Next row, I go either Guardian Infinity or Resto Infinity, and I can't play without Resto Infinity personally. So I pick Resto Infinity just due to the fact that the heals are really nice. And yeah, heals are nice. But you can't go wrong with either of them. Next one, Mighty Bash, Mass Entanglement, or Typhoon. I go with Mighty Bash just because it's an extra CC, and it's just really overall nicer. Next row, Soul of the Forest or Star Lord, in my opinion, for the 40-mans. Soul of the Forest, you can do more Starfalls because it's reduced by 10. But I pick Star Lord just due to the fact because haste is so bad at the moment, and I've really been liking the haste a lot better. Next row, Stellar Drift or Twin of the Moons. I go with Twin of the Moons because the spreading Moonfire everywhere is just overall nicer, and Moonfire pretty much hits pretty hard at the moment. Next row, I go with Shooting Stars just because due to the fact that you're going to be dotting 40 people all over the place, and it's going to probably be proccing at least a little bit more often. The proc rate isn't, I know, the best, but of the three, I would recommend that at least for 40-mans. Alright, random battlegrounds. Next up, I would pick either Warrior Balloon or Nature's Balance. Warrior Balloon, if you want to go burst build, which I'll show you guys what the burst build is. You can go Incarnation, Fury Balloon, and then what you're going to want to do, I don't really want to waste the cooldown or anything, but because I want to switch talents to just keep showing you guys, but basically what you want to do is you're going to pop Warrior Balloon, and then dot people up real quick, get some Lunar Strikes, pop your Incarnation, and pop Fury Balloon here with your Incarnation, and just go pretty much straight ham. And then that's pretty much your standard rotation, and it's just, yeah, the burst is just insane with this build. If you guys have seen my older videos, you will know exactly how much burst I did with Boomkin with this build. It's just insane. Next up is the third row, Stellar Drift and Twin Moons. Twin Moons I feel like is the better option for this build, simply due to the fact that Stellar Drift is more, I feel like, for 40-mans, because 10-mans and 50-mans people are more spread out in my opinion, and overall Twin Moons is just a very powerful talent. Next row is Fury Balloon. Like I said, it's the burst build. You're going to want to run Warrior Balloon, Incarnation, and Fury Balloon, and the burst you can do with this build is pretty much insane. Keep in mind, it's more so for like a single target. It's not really so much for multi AoE, I feel like. So this is kind of like a huge burst single target build. So honor talent wise, I actually forgot to go over it for the 40-mans. For the 40-mans, I usually do run you could always run Crescent Burn, Moonkin Ore to help you out your team because you're going to be having 40 people and having the Moonkin Ore is going to be nuts for them. And then the last one would be Celestial Downpour because you'll be AoEing like mad. So yeah, this would be the build I would be running for the 40-mans, what you're seeing right now. And then random BGs, I would run this build, what you're seeing right now, and run it with Fairy Swarm and Thorns. And the reason why I pick Thorns over, well, you don't have to pick Thorns or Swarm, it kind of depends. I know there's a bunch of different stuff people like Iron Feather Armor, if you're because you're going to be jumped on by melee. I mean, it's pretty much obvious. So Iron Feather could be really good if you don't want to use either of those. I would always recommend Moonkin Aura because of the burst and it helps out your team. Cyclone could be really good as well to CC the healers. So overall, I guess if you want to switch out either Thorns for Cyclone or Iron Feather Armor, or the Swarm for Cyclone or Iron Feather Armor, or you can switch out both for those if you really want to. Those are really good. Crescent Burn is also pretty good, but I would recommend the other ones just because more utility over the damage, because you gotta help out your team too as well. Alright, Warmode talents. So, I've been running a bunch of Warmode, testing it out, and in my opinion, this is probably one of the best builds, like I said, the burst build, because if you're out on your own, you're going to be wanting to burst out the target really, really fast. So the burst build can be incredibly, incredibly good. So, and also you're going to want to keep yourself alive, so I'd recommend these honor talents to Fairly Swarm, Moonkin Aura for the burst because you're running burst build, and Thorns. Or if you really, really want to be anti-melee, because we all know there's going to be lots of melee in the world, here's the build you could be running. You're going to want to run Deep Roots, Thorns, and if you don't want to run Moonkin Aura for the burst, which I would recommend, you could run Swarm. And this is pretty much the anti-melee build, which it gets pretty much as much as going to get. So say there's a warrior right now, like right there next to that training dummy. You want to jump him, so you're going to start off with some Moonfire, Sunfire, and he'll probably just now get his attention on you, and you're going to want to just pretty much get some Astro Power up, get another Root back up, and then just keep going ham. And then once you got your full, you got up to like 50 Astro Power, you're going to want to burst him. So he'll probably charge at you, you're going to stun him like this, and then try and get away from him, try to get another Roots, and then you're just going to want to burst him. I'm not going to pop Incarnation because I want to keep switching talents and show you guys some stuff. And then just go from there. Just pop your Warrior of Saloon. He'll probably charge you again, so you can just disarm him. And then just keep going ham. Just go do your burst. And then if he gets close again, just pop your Thorns. Obviously not with disarm up, because you want to wait until it's after up, so that way you can keep him slowed. Keep cutting him up. And just get him into Roots. Just keep rooting when you can. And boom. Obviously, there is no set rotation in PvP. Like, what you're seeing now, maybe not even happen. There is realistically no set rotation for PvP. You just gotta do what the tools are given to you. But you guys kind of get the general idea of, like, basically what this anti-melee build is like. And, there's a few other talents you can go. I still personally like Nature's Balance the most over that, and I also like Star-Lord over Incarnation, even in Warmode. But that is the single target burst build, in my opinion, probably may be the best for Warmode, just because, like I said, you're going to be off doing your own thing. You can burst a target. Easy peasy. And then the honor talents is just what you guys want to do. But for me, this is the build I usually run with. Moonkin Aura, Swarm, and Thorns. But if you're having problems with melee, run Deep Roots. Deep Roots is just, it's really good. Okay, stat-wise, what are you guys looking for stats? I'm sure you guys are gonna not be surprised, but haste. Haste is a lifesaver. So this is why I use Star-Lord. You start off with that like 5% haste at 120. And it just adds over time once you get gear. I'm at 14% right now. We're adding pretty much everything on my haste on my gear. Trinkets, everything. So enchants as well. Quick navigation gives you a haste enchant buff. Would recommend getting that. Ring enchants for haste if you can as well. Final thing is traits. If you have engineering, I love this helm personally. I know not everybody has it, but this helm is just nuts. Right now, you will see that I have this trait for my engineering helmet. It's specifically for engineers only. There is no other trait like this. It's engineers only. Your spells have a chance to grow or shrink the world, increasing your primary stat by 471, and increasing your health by 11,000. And then the other one is shrinking the world, and you get 767 haste and 25% movement speed. It's insane the amount of burst I've been able to do with it, or just the casting is nuts. That's the reason why I like this one. Unstable Flames, which is just increasing your crit, which is a good stat for Boomkins. And then the final one, which I'm really excited for, but I unfortunately don't have it yet because I need to level my necklace. But look at this one, guys. Taking damage has a chance to call your personal absorb, and increasing the once it can absorb up to 16,000, almost 17,000 for 20 seconds. That is pretty dang crazy. So I'm really excited for this trait. So if you're an engineer, I would recommend making this helmet. It's really worth it. It's a pain in the butt to make, but it's definitely worth it by far. Other traits, I do have your standard crit build, or trait, for 14 seconds, and then for PvP you're going to want to try and get the absorb shields, just because it makes you survive longer. Chest piece, it's just what I have is the mastery, and that increases the damage a little bit. The other one is just physical damage. You're going to be replacing so much Azurite gear, so I'm still trying to figure out what traits are best. I guess for Boomkin, maybe like the Twin Moon kind of traits, which increase the Moonfire damage. So overall, I feel like that covers up everything. Covers up stats, covers up talents, covers up traits. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I'll see you guys later.